that Besigye should be tried in a court, condemned or absorbed, is a right.
Look at you.
Honestly, keeping a man in jail for 8 months, and you say he's guilty, you've not told us what it is. Tell us. Yes, I know he could be guilty as hell, but for as long as we don't know what he has done or not done, for us as laymen, in the court of public opinion, he's innocent. No citizen should be incarcerated without fair trial. Bwana Chiwanuka, when your own successors radicalize and they are radicalizing against you, it means things have been going wrong. I've made myself loud and clear that certain things that are happening are unacceptable. Listen, families are now beginning to call on us to give them bodies to borrow. We who fought Amin for the very reason.
Absolutely.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've had so many people send me this video asking me to make some sort of commentary. You know, they were like, hey, Mordecai, I know you're covering the events at the NUP, but how about the words of Major General Kahinda Otafiire, who serves in the Museveni government as Minister of Internal Affairs? And I'm like, why not? You know, there's some sort of a sigh of delight every time you have folks like Kahinda Otafiire who call out the Museveni regime. And I will really be honest with you, every time folks like him who serve in the Museveni cabinet, like Kahinda Otafiire, comes out and calls out to Museveni, I'm usually a little dazed, like literally confused. I'm like, what do I think? Is he our friend? Is he our foe? Like I struggle. I'm like, okay, what is he trying to do? Because if he's calling out Museveni, but he served in the Museveni government, then what do I think of him? These are usually, that's what goes through my mind when I am mulling over, you know, what they usually say, like what he's going to be saying in this video. But every time I take some time to think, probably the optimist in me rises. And I take the beauty of talking of people like Kahinda Otafiire. Look, regime apologists, sympathizers, minions have always accused us of painting the country in the shouting raven black. Oh, Mordecai, you say bad things about Uganda. Really? Do I? Uganda is one of the best countries in the world. Talk about nature, the climate. Talk about the hospitality, the how accommodative our people are. But when they accuse me of painting the country I love, the shouting raven black, I'm like, probably you're missing out on something. You don't listen to me attentively. So when I have people like Kahinda Otafiire exposing the filth, the rot within the Museveni regime, I take that as a score. I'm like, oh, that's good. And usually I'm like, oh, probably this might end up jolting a few people out of the slumber, especially those who are still apologists of the regime. So, pessimism away, optimism. I'm so glad that Kahinda Otafiire had something to say. Let's listen in.
And this goes for all episodes in political struggle, including the struggle of Besigye.
Including the struggle of Besigye, okay?
That Besigye should be tried in a court, condemned or absorbed, is a right.
That's why I usually find my struggle, because he's a Minister of Internal Affairs. And why is it taking him so long to come out and demand for the rights of Dr. Kizza Besigye to be respected? And I am usually restrained. My condemnation and my criticism of his delay is usually restrained by the common phrase, better late than never.
It's a right. So why not you? The department falls under you.
He says, Bwana Chiriowa, the Attorney General, the department falls under you. And this is the problem that comes with raising a monster. You know, when you are raising a monster, there's this fantasy world you live in. It's a little monster, and you start fantasizing of probably one time owning this monster. Let me give you an example. If you're raising a little anaconda snake, you're like, okay, I love this snake. And you might delude yourself into thinking that, oh, maybe at one time I will have this anaconda as a friend, but you're raising a monster. It shouldn't be kept at home. Shouldn't be domesticated. And this is what they did, the Kahinda Otafiire of this world. They fed a monster. They raised a monster in Museveni. And probably they knew that he would become a ginormous monster. But I don't know, did they delude themselves into thinking that probably they would tame the pride, the ego, and the wild instincts of a monster that he would become? So that's why even to now, that this gigantic monster called Museveni, they even fear to address him directly, to be like, hey, Museveni. They'll be like, hey, Chiriowa Chiwanuka can't do nothing, like zero. Chiriowa Chiwanuka is even afraid of Museveni. Because, let me give you, I'm sorry for posing this. Do we want to deceive ourselves that Chiriowa Chiwanuka will go and have some sort of an engagement with Museveni and try to explain to him that, hey, what you're doing is wrong, or it's against the law, like Museveni doesn't know? Like, should we remind Museveni that the abduction, the torturing, the disappearances, and the killing of innocent people is wrong? It's like saying, hey, no, but Mao, this is under your ministry. I mean, for crying out loud, Norbert Mao recently came out and said, hey, we're going to have a transition. That's not going to go through, it's not going to go through an election. I mean, this is coming from the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs telling you, guys, elections, ignore that. Minister of Justice. It's like, I cannot blame Norbert Mao because Norbert Mao is aiding and abetting Museveni's desires and Muhoozi Kainerugaba. So when he says Chiriowa Chiwanuka, I'm like, come on, really?
DPP is under Chiwanuka.
Look at Chiwanuka.
Honestly, keeping a man in jail for 8 months, and you say he's guilty. You've not told us what it is. Tell us. Yes, I know he could be guilty as hell. But for as long as we don't know what he has done or not done, for us as laymen, in the court of public opinion, he's innocent.
This is fear to address Museveni directly. You have to find some sort of a scapegoat. Instead of blaming Museveni for the continued incarceration of Kizza Besigye, let me unpack all my frustration, my anger onto Chiriowa Chiwanuka. Chiriowa Chiwanuka is just a pawn in Museveni's chessboard.
In the court of public opinion, he's
Chess game.
innocent until you present him before us and he tells us what he has done. And all the others. No citizen should be incarcerated without fair trial. I've told you this. You may hate me, you may like it. Mm-hmm. That's up to you. As far as I'm concerned, nothing lost, nothing gained. Bye-bye.
And he has to end with that sort of a joke, style. I don't know whether he thinks that Museveni will listen. Like I told you at the beginning, I really don't. Sometimes I don't know what to think when I see them, make these public statements. Because it would really be smart if he really wants to make a statement to end up with that said, I believe my time of service in this Museveni cabinet has come to an end, an ultimate end, indefinitely. The continued incarceration of Dr. Kizza Besigye, the abduction, the torturing, the killing of innocent people, the rampant corruption, lawlessness, and impunity, I think I cannot take it anymore. These are things that led me to fight the governments of Obote II, Tito Okello Lutwa, and Idi Amin Dada. But every time they come and they be like, okay, I'm telling you this, but at the same time, I'm going to be serving the interests of that man who is illegally incarcerating Kizza Besigye. It doesn't really make any sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I had known...
This was the inaugural memorial lecture of Samuel Kalegan Juba. Used to be Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs in Museveni government.
When I was going to talk to the radical...
They said he was a very good man.
New bar, I would not have come. Because I don't like fighting wars I'm not prepared for. What is this radical new bar? If the radical new bar, internal struggle, I won't identify with it. If it is meant for external struggle and therefore struggle for mankind, I am a member.
I think I'll go here to where he made a very good point. I marked down. Let's go here. Perfect.
And it's not our fault that we were born before you. And we had the misfortune of going through this. Bwana Chiwanuka, when your own successors radicalize and they are radicalizing against you, it means things have been going wrong.
And the radicalism he's referring to, it's not even radical. These are people expressing their frustration, their depression, their oppression to the Museveni regime. There's no, that's a buzzword, radicalism. I've had people say, hey, Mordecai, what radicalized you? I usually laugh at the misplacement and misusing of these words.
It means things have been going wrong. And I'm glad the Rukwagos of this world are doing it now when we will reach the precipice. There are a few disconcerting events that have taken place in this country, and I don't want to countenance as minister responsible for internal affairs. I've made myself loud and clear that certain things that are happening are unacceptable.
Okay.
Because I was here during Amin's time.
Mm.
I'll recount the dictum of this preacher in Germany during the Second World War. I forget his name.
Martin Niemoller, that's the name.
Anyway, God save his soul if at all he has any. He said, when they came for the socialists, I kept silent because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the gays. I kept quiet because I was not gay. Then they came for the trade unionists. I kept silent because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I kept silent because I was not a Jew. When they came for me, there was nobody left to speak on my behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, don't commit the sin of silence.
Now, when he makes those kind of statements, that's where I told you they get me start mulling over the contradiction of looking at him as a friend or foe, because what he's saying is 100% true. If you continue remaining silent in the face of injustice, you are an accomplice. However, my disappointment in him is his continued identification with a regime that is committing injustices. You see the contradiction?
And those of us who are in authority must learn to hear.
That's why I asked the question. What happens if they don't listen?
In Kiswahili they say, asiolewa na wazazi, afundishwa na dunia. If
Kama chipepeo kwa badilisha, I don't know what that means. I'm kidding.
you don't learn from your parents, you'll be taught by the world. Those of us in authority, if we don't know how to exercise authority judiciously and with caution and compassion, we shall be taught by the society we are leading.
When he says by the society we are leading,
We
yeah,
lead. Well, some people want to rule. Me, I don't ascribe to that. We lead with the consent of the governed.
when he says some people, it is the fear of mentioning Museveni's name. I think Museveni was at a certain inaugural address and he said that he wasn't servant to the Ugandan people. Then when he says, oh, some people want to rule, he's referring to Museveni, but just like I told you, he's afraid of confronting the monster he fed. So he's going to be using some sort of a nebulous references or some people. Who are these nebulous people you're referring to? Some people want to. Vague language. It's so sad, folks. It is very, very dangerous to build everything we have, the future of a country, through a vision of one man. One man can have all these brilliant ideas, but until they are transacted into things that will remain, and these are national institutions. Yep.
Sometimes the governed are wrong. When the governed are wrong, it's the duty of the leaders to patiently explain to the governed where they have gone wrong. But more often than not, the governed are right. Those who are governed, when you see them crying, when you see them jumping up and down, don't suppress them. Keep them in order, but feel their pain.
Museveni doesn't really care.
Mama Njua has said it properly. She said, for us, we cried. They cried because there was pain they were unable to express. Until the headmistress felt compassion for why these girls were crying and said, what is going on? And I'm sure the situation was improved.
Mm-hmm.
Recently,
I think let's go here.
I've heard of episodes of people being, so-and-so has been arrested.
Is that recent? This has been going on. Like, is this willful ignorance? I think this is what he's trying to employ. Oh, recently, this has been going on like forever. This was the hallmark of the 2020 elections, 2021 elections. During, before, and after the election, when you say recently, it's as if you're referring to 2 weeks ago, a month. This has been going on even before the emergence of Bobi Wine on political body politic of Uganda. Recently, are you kidding me?
Arrested, yeah, very good. 6 months, this person has not been brought to court. So,
and I'm sorry, I might be tough on him, but really, people have been abducted, people have been killed. When you talk about, folks who have not been arraigned in courts of law, which is wrong in and of itself. But how about those that have been abducted? Those that have been disappeared, never to be seen again.
So has disappeared. Like now, yesterday, today, somebody called me from Mbarara and said a gentleman called Wangomani, Amos Wangomani. A very big cadre, well, these middle cadres who fights from 70 tooth and nail. He's been arrested. Amos Wangomani from Mbarara, just a simple businessman. He was arrested, he's disappeared for 3 weeks. His family went to court. First time he was not produced. Second time he was not produced. Yesterday they went to court. You know what the authorities told us, including Muzei Chiwachi Wanuka, vicarious liability. They said, we don't know where the man is. Oh.
Like when he behaves like, he was surprised. Like, really? You're talking about that gentleman that hasn't been seen for a few weeks or so, and I feel very sad. Look, I'm not, downplaying what his family and his friends might be going through. But there's John Bosco Chibalama. abducted from Chiseka Market at his store. The minister, the prime minister said they have him. Now they've started, manufacturing some sort of a reality that doesn't even exist. Oh, John Bosco Chibalama is abroad. When you ask them which country, they won't tell you. Mr. Kahinda Otafiire, while I understand you actually know the gentleman you're referring to, there's hundreds of folks that we do not know whether we'll ever see them again. Is this selfishness that, now that they've touched a person I know? This rhymes with the poem you just recited a few minutes ago of Martin Niemola. Come on.
Wait a minute. When people of my size, height, and weight disappear without trace, that's a problem. How can a man big as I am disappear without
I don't find that funny.
trace? Because this fellow called me in the morning and said, if he's been killed, at least give us the body to borrow. Listen, families are now beginning to call on us to give them bodies to borrow. We who fought Amin for the very reason.
Absolutely. Because this is, look, it's funny. Museveni is Amin on steroids. I'm not being harsh on him. Museveni is Amin. He's outdoing Idi Amin Dada. I am telling you. I'm telling you. Idi Amin Dada called himself life president. Mr. Museveni refers to himself and he's used slogans like Pakalast, Tova Kumain. That is cryptic message that means life presidency. Idi Amin Dada has the likes of Maria Mungu. And now there are folks who are doing the same in the Museveni cabinet. I've interviewed folks who have been raped, men who have been sodomized, men who have been maimed. I was on a radio show on 97.7 Record FM, interviewing a gentleman who was tortured in Nalufenya, being told to admit that he was behind the assassination of Andrew Felix Kawesi. Like, this is, I don't understand. That's why I told you I really, really get super dazed. Do I take him seriously or is playing to the gallery? This is trying to appeal to the people, or he's reading signs that, the regime is coming to the final bend, and how about I make these statements that if things really go south for us, there will be some sort of grace from these people who will now have power. I don't get it. Jeez.
Excuse me. Bwana Chiwanuka, you are crossing the Rubicon.
Bwana Chiwanuka, you're crossing the Rubicon. That is a tacit, direct message, a tacit confrontation to Museveni. This Chiwanuka, Chiwanuka. Chiwanuka.
Yes, and those of us who took up arms to fight against this don't think there are others like us in our age with the enthusiasm to fight us. Have it upon your heart that if this goes on, we are going to be fought, and I'm too old.
And that's the truth. I don't know whether he's joking or even believes, but we've got age on our side. Well, I might die tomorrow. I'm not referring to myself, but in the grand scheme of the population in Uganda, you got the young people ready and able to do stuff that you cannot do. Museveni has been trying to prove that, he's still energetic. Have you been seeing him trying to run? Come on, really? That should be really shameful. Okay, let's go to where he mentions Dr.
What you do is come to iPod, grab the Sudeledo and say, don't serve this one, you also give me. When you've given me soup without bread, I say, I also want bread. How come you are giving Rukwago meat and chicken? Say, treat us fairly. But if you are outside, nobody will listen to you. And this goes for all episodes in political struggle, including the struggle with Besigye. That Besigye should be tried in a court, condemned or absorbed, is a right. It's a right. So why not you? The department falls under you.
Actually, what I can't do, I was about to fill in the adjective there. I was about to use some words. But you know,
DPP is under Chiwanuka. Honestly, keeping a man in jail for 8 months, and you say he's guilty, you've not told us what it is. Tell us. Yes, I know he could be guilty as hell. But for as long as we don't know what he has done or not done, for us as laymen, in the court of public opinion, he's innocent. In the court of public opinion, he's innocent until you present him before us and he tells us what he has done. And all the others.
I'm glad you mentioned, and all the others, so many of them.
No citizen should be incarcerated without fair trial. I've told you this. You may hate me, you may like it. That's up to you. As far as I'm concerned, nothing lost, nothing gained. Bye-bye.
He's a funny character there. I think I saw him making some similar statements here.
N'abagamba mwe poliisi mwabamaje bw'ogenda kukwata omuntu sooka omanye talina ati gye tuyita prima facie case alina omusango. Twakute Muhammad ate tumaze na wiiki bbiri naye omusango teguliwo wakwata waati.
Like, these words are, probably I'll do a separate video. I don't want this one to be so long. These words should come with some sort of actions. You can't just continue speaking. You got the power. You got something you can do. Resign. Resign your position. Make a statement. Show us. But better late than never. And I'm not downblaming what he's doing. But I don't think it's enough. And I think I'm allowed to say, thank you so much, Kahinda Otafiire, but you can do more than that. They used to do that when I was a kid, I remember. Getting reports from, especially in primary. Thank you so much, but I think you can do better. So I'm using the same approach of my primary days. Right? What do you think? Go on and write in the comment section what you think about the words of Kahinda Otafiire. It is very sad. All he says is true, right, perfect. Will Museveni listen, or will wait for the people to talk to him in ways he cannot avoid listening to them? I hope he listens. That's my prayer. But not only listen, and change. My name is Mordecai Morisa. Super glad you've been here until the end of this video. Until I catch up with you once again, stay tuned and make sure that you do subscribe to this feed, share this video, and please like this video as well. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.